What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we have your weekend Formula One recap, where we recap the action that took place in the Formula One over the weekend. This weekend was the Sochi Grand Prix at the Sochi Autodrome. So we'll be going into the race highlights, talk maybe a little bit about quali as well. It was quite an interesting race weekend. It's amazing when, even when a track such as Sochi, not too many overtakes, quite difficult to overtake on track, add a bit of rain and you get an amazing race. So let's get into it. First, we will look at the qualifying that took place on Saturday before the race. The qualifying went as Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Nicholas Latifi, Charles Leclerc, Kimi Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, Nikita Mazepin, and Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen didn't set a time as he knew he would already be starting at the back of the grid due to engine changes. So let's just go up to the top here. I mean, incredibly exciting quali. A bit of rain that then forced Oaks to change tires. Which then, as the rain started drying up, once the more people drive on it, the track evolution, I mean, I think it was it Carlos Sainz who was the first one to go through, and he said he went like 1.5 seconds ahead of everyone else's time once the track had started drying up. So, I mean, it was a super, super exciting quali. I mean, I think special mentions need to go to George Russell, putting his Williams third on the grid on merit. I mean, just what George Russell has been able to do in that Williams this season has been, I mean, some may say slightly short of remarkable. I mean, there was, I think, 2 seasons ago where the Williams were just guaranteed 19th, 20th. They were just so off the pace. And now they really seem to be finding a bit of form. They really seem to have had an amazing driver here in George Russell. He is off to Mercedes next season, so that will be very interesting. Hamilton down in 4th here. He did crash into the pit wall, coming into the pits to change his tires. It was very slick. They were trying to get as much running as possible. He needed to change tires and was not able to. I'm pretty sure they changed onto slicks near the end there because there was enough space, but there was still a bit of damp spots, and he ended up putting it into the wall. Still qualifying 4th, so I mean, not an issue. And then onto the race results. Onto the race. The race, I mean, amazing race for the last 5 laps. I mean, it wasn't very interesting up to that. Sochi becomes a bit of a procession with cars very close behind. Cars don't build out too much of a gap here. I mean, what's this? Plus 2 laps down to Mazepin. I mean, sometimes during the race, 30 laps in there, already 2 laps down. So the race results went Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Ricciardo, Bottas, Alonso, Norris, Raikkonen, Perez, Russell, Stroll, Vettel, Gasly, Ocon, Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Mazepin, Latifi, Mick Schumacher. I mean, brilliant drive from Lewis at the end there. It's tough watching it back. Watching Lando choose not to pit for the Inters was super tough. But I mean, I've seen some people say, oh, it was Lando's fault. It was Lando's fault. Watching back on it now, this is someone aiming for their first Grand Prix win as opposed to Lewis was going for his 100th. Can see the different levels of experience. But I mean, it's super tough. And as someone pointed out on the post-race broadcast, they were saying, I think if Norris had have gone into the pits, I do think Lewis would have stayed out. So, you know what I mean? Whoever went in didn't go in. It's the roll of the dice. And the rain started to pick up, which I mean is super unfortunate for Lando. I mean, if the rain doesn't pick up and only those couple corners there, I think it was down by turn 10, that side of the track there, start to get a bit wet, he can navigate his way through there. But then the rest of the track, if he's still on slicks, he's flying. So, sometimes you roll the dice, sometimes you get a 6, sometimes you get a 1. Obviously very disappointing. Many people, including myself, wanted to see Lando get that first race victory. But I mean, you can't be disappointed with Lewis Hamilton getting his 100th. I mean, think about how few people race in 100 Grand Prix, and Lewis has won 100. I mean, I don't think there can be an argue for Lewis Hamilton being the greatest Formula One driver of all time. He did obviously luck out incredibly in the era he's in with the dominant car that is Mercedes. But it's easy to have a dominant car. Valtteri Bottas finished in 5th, you know what I mean, in the same car. So it's very easy to start blaming the car. But then why isn't Valtteri Bottas now being the absolute GOAT? You know what I mean? So, great drive from Lewis. I mean, I'm pretty sure driver of the day was Max Verstappen, starting last on the grid, finishing 2nd. I mean, it's an absolute elite drive. Carlos Sainz coming in there. I mean, but obviously the story of the day is Lando not pitting for the Inters and then spinning out on the wet, then having to pit, taking a penalty because he crossed back over the pit line. It's coming in 7th, obviously very disappointing. If you're a Lando fan, if you're a fan of the future of Formula One. But let's take a quick look at the drivers' standings for this year, because I'm pretty sure I looked at it earlier and they are very close. No, what? Yeah, drivers' standings. Is this not what I clicked? Oh yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I clicked that and it didn't load that. Wow, so there is 2 points between Max and Lewis. Wow, it's going to be an incredible end to the season. Lando Norris over there in 4th on merit in his McLaren. I mean, Lando has been racing exceptionally well this season. Let's go down to the bottom here. Has everyone scored points except Mick Schumacher, Kubica? But I mean, he came in for 1 race, and Nikita Mazepin. He's just Mick Schumacher. I think he's struggling to get up to the pace of Formula One at the moment. George Russell on 16 points. Yuki Tsunoda has 18 points. Wow. Shout out to Yuki Tsunoda. Let's go, Yuki. So yeah, what else is there to talk about the Formula One? Interesting race weekend. As I said earlier, all you need when a boring bit of race is a little bit of rain, and suddenly everything goes a bit chaotic. Okay, that has been the Formula One recap over the weekend. Let me know down below if you want me to go into more detail, less detail. Easy for me to do. Just let me know down in the comment section. I'm a big fan of Formula One. I'm very excited for the changes that will be coming in next year. Hopefully create a bit more action on track, a bit more ability to drive closer to the car, a bit more overtakes, not just through DRS, which, I mean, DRS is a bit of a cop-out, but that's for another conversation. But as always, a thumbs up if you enjoyed, a thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. Okay, bye.